Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 107 of the Terminus Podcast. I am your dispatcher, Ellis Tamelio. With me, I have my engineers, Brett Weibold, and Nick Christensen. I wasn't sure where to go with there. Anyway, firemen. We have one fireman with us, TJ Sakoshimo.
Hey, T-Josh.
Aruba, Jamaica.
And with us as our guest brakeman is Dean the Lalp again. Which apparently people pronounce wrong. I don't get it how you do that. Anyway, this is for the weeks of October 6th, 2018, but it will probably be coming out late. Anyway, before we move on to the rest of the podcast, the train will terminate at this station.
Okay, this week we're somewhere in the, this would appear to be the North Atlantic, if the currents are right, and the fact that we're freezing falls off.
Yeah.
We're in a lifeboat. We've managed to...
Actually, we're on an airboat. We're on a pontoon...
So we're a time traveler.
Yeah. Well, then we're in Louisiana.
Back in Louisiana.
I don't think the Titanic sunk in Louisiana.
Are you sure?
I don't think they have airboats in the North Atlantic.
Maybe you don't.
Back in Louisiana, we had
There's a door
airboats.
out there somewhere
but they
that
do have a
has
sun.
room for two
Anyway.
people, but has one person on it.
Anyway, if we're talking about things going down this week,
Well...
Union Pacific is going down real hard.
Yeah.
In fact, they started off our weeks with a crash on September 25th. December? Wow. In Iowa.
Not yet.
Yeah. Near Alton, Iowa. Oh, holy crap. So, there was a bridge collapse, and the whole train just piled straight into the river.
Ooh.
Pretty much. 20 freight cars in the river, sand and soybean oil were released, but no hazardous chemicals. Sweet river. Oh, wait, is soybean oil
Sandy,
sweet?
too. It's a gritty kind of sweet.
It's like drinking honey that's partially crystallized.
It's gritty.
Yeah.
So, recent flooding and heavy rain might have contributed to the derailment, they said. You think? Also, the derailed freight cars are creating like a makeshift dam where the bridge was.
Is that a bit like saying the bridge falling down might have contributed to the accident?
Yeah. The excessive water.
Yeah.
Too much water.
No, it wasn't the excessive water, it was the lack of track.
The lack of bridge.
There's a distinct lack of bridge here.
Then... so the following derailment was not Union Pacific. This is the only non-UP derailment in the past couple of weeks. In Weld County, Colorado.
Yeah.
After a BNSF train struck a tanker truck carrying salt water, and subsequently went on to derail 3 engines and 123 cars.
To which my question is, okay, the frickin' bridge is gone, and you put like 20 cars or whatever they said in the river. How is it that you hit a truck full of water, derail 3 locomotives and 100 cars? How fast were you going?
Really? I mean, it's Weld County. It's flat and straight.
This is true. Well.
Yeah.
Just like my ex-wife.
It's funny because he doesn't have an ex-wife.
Hey. No, the joke there is, it's funny because she was gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Also, curse to the Terminus.
Why? What happened now?
We have breaking news in the guest list.
Oh.
Or wait, no, it's not. We might already have this
Coal
one. This
train
is
derailment closed the MRL main line.
Where's Montana Rail Link?
Oh.
They're not class 1.
Yeah, Second Montana Rail Link.
Yeah, screw you, bitch.
And then, okay, so that also held up the California Zephyr in both directions for 12 hours. That was the important thing about that derailment. And now there's an actual bad one. This was October 4th, so only a couple of days ago. Union Pacific crash, 1 dead, 1 missing in Laramie County.
Laramie.
So, what happened exactly? I'm not totally sure. So, oh yeah, so it was a train rear-ended another train.
And the one killed was the engineer of the train that struck the other one, and the one missing is the conductor of that train. Which, am I the only one that finds it a little bit peculiar they say missing? It just sounds like a strange choice of words. I understand technically they're not accounted for, but missing sounds like, oh, we haven't found them anywhere, but there's footprints leading away from the accident. They stood up and walked away, and now they're lost. It's like, okay.
Nice.
No.
You know where they are, sort of.
Conductors never die, they're just missing in action.
Yeah, exactly.
Conductors never die.
Only Casey Jones had been a conductor.
Anyway. It's POWMIA, but the POW doesn't stand for prisoner of war. It's just the noise that the train made when it hit the other one.
Jesus.
Horrible.
Wham! Pow!
Go ahead and fall for that joke.
Also, the following day, there was another Union Pacific derailment. Literally the following day.
Rip.
So, this was 10 cars... Or no, sorry. Wait, what happened? What? I don't even know what happened. It was 10 cars past the intersection of Central Avenue and Firestone Road. It was a... there was an empty car that had previously carried sodium sulfide, but no loss of integrity to the empty sodium sulfide car. And then, I mean, it looks like a mess, but they only mention one car being derailed. It's clearly more than one car. It's a mess. There's a lot of train cars all over the place. Anyway, is this the same thing? This was on the same day. No, this is not the same thing. Oh, this is
another one?
This is... Is this the same as the other one? This might have just been a late update on the rear-end collision.
Did they find the conductor that wandered off?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. He's at the pub.
Yeah.
He's at the pub.
There you go one, there you go.
Wait, what?
He's off hearing.
What? Hold on. There's a discrepancy between these two stories. Hold on, I need to... So, this one says, 4 personnel aboard the 2 trains, 1 confirmed dead, 1 still missing, and the other 2 were being treated at the hospital. And the previous one said, hold on. Investigators have learned that 2 crew members in the parked train hit from behind and exited the train prior to the collision.
That's good.
So, well, yeah, but the other article says they're in the hospital.
So which one?
Yeah, so what happened?
Maybe they exited the train and got hit by a bus.
I guess.
Their wives are giving birth. That's why they're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just the one wife. They didn't realize they were dating the same person. Yeah. Also, Montana Rail Link crashed, but we don't care about them. So I'm gonna post all of those articles. I just closed the wrong document. I'm gonna post all those articles. I assume those 2 appear to be the same collision. It's just this contradictory evidence there, or contradictory statements. I don't know. It'll be over in the cargo. Oh, we need to create the cargo stuff. Crap.
We can agree on the fact that unfortunately one guy's dead. One guy
has flying and they haven't found him.
Vanished.
Yep.
Yeah. He's out fishing.
Yep.
And the other 2 guys are no longer on the train.
Yeah, they're somewhere, whether that be the hospital,
they are either
or
in
the
hospital or at home.
Yeah.
Or the pub.
Yeah. Anyway.
That reminds me of a story that I heard about the Tillamook branch. They had passenger service until the 70s. Because that was one of the stipulations of running the line until the 80s, that you had to have passenger service. Well, they just had people hop in the caboose at the end of the train, and people just rode the Tillamook, and they went fishing in the canyon, the Sampleberry Canyon. And they would hop on the train going back over the hill.
the idea that, you have to, you're running this railroad, you have to provide passenger service. I feel like they got rid of that when Conrail came around, but...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they did.
I don't know how they got stuck with doing that, still.
Yeah,
The worst deal.
that was one requirement that SP had. That they had to have passenger service, and they just used a caboose at the end of the freight train to do that.
Well, alright, I'm going to post the collisions and accidents and derailments down in the document where you guys will expect them. And you guys can talk about what you guys have done this week. Past couple weeks.
Absolutely nothing.
Good job.
We had dealt with Dumpster recently at the museum.
That's where you were last time.
Yep. And the time before that, actually, I've missed the past 2 podcasts because I've been doing Thomas.
Well, at least you were being really useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas was really useful for a while, actually. He was used as a shop boombox and a table.
A boombox?
He's the most use he's ever been to us.
Okay.
Yeah, but Thomas was really uneventful. We ran Diesel 130 came down from the loop, and we ran that rather than 91, which meant we were able to stay in the shop and get a lot of stuff done.
50,
Which, on a similar note,
50.
UN of 50 is a couple weeks from being complete, and possibly by the next podcast, if not, definitely the one after it, we'll have pictures of its public date. Crunch rattle, crunch rattle.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
At the museum, we ran the charter yesterday for a motor bus society convention.
Cool.
Which is a little bit ironic that they charter the trolley museum. But,
I run.
I was gonna say, are they
Are they high?
anyways, I'll post
They lost.
the pictures. We
Look,
ran.
everyone, this is what we killed.
Yeah. Let's ride it.
Big oof.
We destroyed this rich and illustrious history and great mass transit system all over the world. Ha 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 ha. Well, at least all over the country.
It was also the first time in a few years that we've won 2 cars at the museum in tandem. And I gotta operate both of them because I was qualified on both of them.
Huh. I too am going to run trolleys.
And then we had to move our locomotive around in the yard to get the 48 back in. Which the yard is much more clean now, so it's much easier to do that. But it's still a challenge because the wire isn't very high in the yard, and the locomotive just kind of pushes up against it. And when it pops off and it goes up, and I've seen it snap the rope before.
Oh.
Because of how much force there is swinging it up.
Yeah, it's not supposed to do that.
Well, anyways, we took it nice and easy, and it went off without hits.
You see, your problem is you got too much sprawling.
Although there was one time that I thought that the locomotive was on the wrong wire when it hit the wire chunks, and so we stopped. I checked, it wasn't. Well, the double-decker was when we went to go put that back.
Oh.
I was the one driving the double-decker into the line, and stop. And then it's just as simple as changing the pole to the other wire, but it didn't get too bad. But anyways, we put it away. We put the Portuguese car away. And the charter ended at 11:30. It began at 9:30.
It's a long charter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a relatively short one compared to some other ones that we have. So that gave me ample time to go do some stuff on the 1067. And what I spent most of my time doing was sweeping out the middle of the car and getting all the cobwebs out of the window frames on the north end.
Clean.
But we also had some discussion on a project that we're working on for the 1067 that we're going to have a fundraiser for here in a few months. We're going to try and get parts to make it run. And so far, we're about halfway there in terms of funding already.
Living on a prayer.
Yep.
Wow!
Lipstick
But-
on a pear.
This
Yeah.
and
Wizard
this
at
is
a
what we're getting
fair.
the parts off of. We're getting the parts off of Poison
Wizard.
Traction Company car 1058. And how we're going to do that is we're going to pretty much acquire the car and then salvage what we can off of it. It's too far gone to restore the 1058.
Lincoln
Uh,
on a
what-
bear.
This vintage photo doesn't show it, but one of those walls is completely wadded out in the middle. And when they went to go restore it in Washington, they took off the overhead tower and they didn't patch up the roof at all. So that was just one big hole in the roof that Wayne and everything got into from 1958 to today. So that didn't help with the deterioration of it. But anyways, we're going to try and do what we can to salvage what we can. And all the electrical gear from the frame down is practically identical to what the 1067 had in service. I looked up the company records of the two cars, and they're pretty much the same except for the compressor. We're going to upgrade the compressor anyways to a GE one. It's the one that the 1058 had. So, we're after the better word. Anyways, we hope to accomplish this, the move by spring of 2019, and we have to pay the museum that we're getting it from by September of next year. But like I said, we're already halfway there, and I'm confident that we're going to be. So confident that I just mentioned it on this podcast.
So confident.
Odd question for Ellis and TJ. Do you guys know Brian Bass?
Don't think
I
so.
think I've heard Chris
Base.
mention that name. Why?
I don't know. He's apparently a trained guy from Rhode Island. Didn't know.
Oh, no.
What does he do?
Maybe you guys are the
I
PN
don't know,
him.
but I don't know. He's in league with Jerry Day though, so
Is that a good thing?
Oh,
or-
I don't know.
that's
League of
about it.
Legends?
Can we
You
get
get
back on track?
No.
I mean, I'm not sure it's a bad thing, but Jerry Day.
Speaking of back on track, I got back on track and worked on my route in Tane, and it's done.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
Done. Go
well,
ahead.
done for now. The area that I was working on, it's done. So like, it's a completed thing that you can get. And by get, I mean just click the link and download it. But
Bye-bye.
I get.
yeah, it looks good. I like it a lot, and I'm gonna work on starting to expand it into like an actual route that goes somewhere.
Noise.
It's always good. Right now I got pictures loading from a trip that I went on to the Oregon coast.
Oh,
I saw sister to one of my favorite engines, Georgia Pacific number 5, Georgia Pacific number 1.
We were number one.
It's Mikado, and they attempted to restore it at some point in the 90s, the 2000s, but they didn't have the funding, so they didn't finish the rest.
I like the pan seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's better than Georgia Pacific number 5, which has no seat.
I mean, pan seat is
Does it have
luxury.
comfy seats? No.
No.
Yeah, of course they do.
I mean,
Pants are
If it
comfy.
doesn't have seats, they can't be uncomfortable, can they?
Well, yeah, but the question is, does it not have uncomfortable seats? The question is, does it have comfy seats? And if it doesn't have
Yeah.
any seats, then it can't have comfy seats.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's true.
Seat.
The same group also owns a 44-tonner that worked at the mill down the track from their museum, the GP mill. They also have a few speeders from various railroads, Coos Bay Lumber and the Valiant Selects Railroad. And also a few SP pieces of equipment, because SP owned the Brack sign that they're next to. Which is why you see freight cars in the background, because it's still an active railroad. But it's a pretty nice old museum. For a quarter, you can. The wigwag actually activates, and it plays a recording of the engine, the number 1, coming in the town, and blowing its whistle.
So, Curse of the Terminus again. This one seems slightly more interesting.
More interesting than Montana Rail Link coal train derailment? What?
I just look at the headline.
Oh no. Union Pacific is holding hostage 20 Tesla Model 3s from owners.
Why?
Such news.
I just look at Skype and see Kavada's posted something that the only headline you can read on the thumbnail is Union Pacific holding hostages. What?
Union Pacific is allegedly refusing to release 20 Tesla Model 3s to its Salt Lake City, Utah service center. As of Thursday, the vehicles have been in Salt Lake City for a week, but the railroad security will not allow Tesla to retrieve them.
Okay.
Why
are they being held hostage?
Precision scheduled railroading, guys.
Jeez.
She stated a delivery date has been completely ignored until further notice because Tesla can't get Union Pacific to release the cars.
Why are they holding?
I don't know.
No.
We reached out to Union Pacific and Tesla for comments and we'll update when we hear back.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's what it says.
What the hell?
What is going on with the world?
Update. Vehicles still being held at the facility as of Friday afternoon and claimed that Tesla had failed to provide her with an explanation or a delivery date. A Tesla spokesperson told the driver that the vehicles in question were unloaded on Tuesday, but did not specify the status of cars beyond that. We're working to learn more.
Right.
Well, speaking of cars being held hostage, I also saw the streetcar in Lincoln City that's being used in a little antique mall called Streetcar Village. At one point, there's about a dozen of these there, all back in the woods, and this was the only one that wasn't in the woods, and it's the only one that happens to survive out of those dozen. It's Portland Traction Company car 1351. It's a standard gauge.
It's really
forgot
dirty.
what line it ran on, but it still survives, and it's not too bad for being on the Oregon coast. The metal needs a little bit of work, and some of the wood needs to be redone. But
yeah.
Also, why does it look like the only real part is the front end?
I don't know. They also painted it up in this very ugly green and white paint.
Gorn.
Originally, it was red and cream, and it was pretty good.
And then
that paint scheme. And then they painted it to this white, yellow and red paint scheme, and it went downhill from there. Yeah.
Rip trolley.
Yeah.
I asked a shop owner nearby about it, and he said that they're hoping to finish renovations on it in 6 months and have someone in there for a business. So they're caring for it until someone can show up with a truck and trailer and haul it to a museum or something. Yeah. Not saying I would, but I'm saying that I would.
I mean, they could just keep it as a store as they keep it nice.
I got you a store.
Yeah.
That's your $1.
Hey, the kitty's here. Anyway.
Anyways, that's been my coast trip if anyone wants to.
I don't have anything else.
TJ mentioned his route. So I was working on auto construction yesterday, and I mentioned during that video that I might be using his route. So as part of a area that I'm going to work on in the future, it's probably going to be part of Vert Alpha like 0.4. I'm on 0.2 right now. I might be taking his town and fitting it into Tollbrint at a point where a pair of branch lines connect. So
Because of my wonderful grade work on the abandoned line that goes through the middle of it.
That's how I'm gonna be able to do it. I said to him it's been my plan all along. I've been playing the long game. I convinced you to do these things just so it would be work that was done for me.
Put in all that work just for a grain silo. I was like, oh, I guess I'll add this line here. You're like, yes, you
And that's
will.
exactly what I sound like too.
Yes, it is.
As you twirl your mustache
exactly.
and leave Madison tied to the railroad track in the background.
He's lost it.
Yes, you will.
But actually, I looked at it. I figured out which way is north. I might not be able to use it. So, all of my calculations were for naught.
You can use it as a fun route to run on.
Yeah.
To switch. That's all it is. It's a switching route.
Yeah. Real fun.
Apparently the Friends of the Crimbers and Toltec have released a recipe book.
For
Death.
Food.
For food.
okay.
Like actual recipes. It's called soot. It's what's for dinner.
Like what they make at Osier?
I guess? I don't know. Also Osier.
Is that how do you pronounce that?
Oyster?
Osier.
Oyster?
Osier.
Osier.
Oh sure.
Oh
Like
sure.
that.
I'll be sure to pronounce it like that next time I'm there.
Yeah.
Mookie,
Osier.
that's not how houses work.
Dave Oyster.
So like it's not Seguche, it's Sawatch.
What?
Never mind,
He's
I'm just
posting
rambling
pictures
now.
of his route. Also, roster shots in a model railroad.
I finished 5 modules that are now all connected with the other 5 I have.
That river module is actually pretty nice. It's simple, but it's nice. Also, I have to
They're all
praise.
kinds of simple.
I have to praise TJ on his little stream in his modular layout, or in his little route, because it's really, really good.
You like it?
The way that it sort of bends around, it's very realistic, and the fact that you went through the effort to make this tiny little stream that does all the little weaving that it's supposed to do is great.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I really wanted to have like a little creek that the river crosses.
Oh, so you're saying crick now too, huh?
Hi, who else says creek?
Remember we were like fighting with Achilles about if it was crick or creek? He was like, no, it's crick.
I mean, it can be either. It's spelled creek,
Crook,
but
crick or creek?
most of the time I say crick, just because
I
it's
say
easier.
Creek.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be spreading
creek.
to over here. That's an over there thing.
Over there.
I'm fine with that.
Over there.
Way out west, there's room for our dreaming.
No, I don't know. I say whatever. It's interchangeable.
Debatable.
There's plenty of room for dreaming when you have a fictional railroad called the Albany West.
The East
Which
Portland.
I have done quite a few reskins for.
The
In
East
anticipation
Portland.
of the multiplayer spare.
Did I ever show my
I also found
multiplayer?
quite possibly one of my new favorite engines. The EMD 1325.
I don't think you did Weibo, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's 1325. It's like a weird hybrid of the SW and the GP series, and it
Gerp.
works really well. Only 2 were ever built in real life, but the Albany and Western owns 6 of them.
Also, I'm adding
So we own most of the.
Sorry.
They were intended to be passenger Swixers, but passenger service time died by the time they came out in 1960.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I did a whole bunch of Steam and some totally not SP engines.
Well, I suppose.
And
as
then
long
I
as-
got all the terrain work done between Camp Ferdy and Cattleford on my route. Which means that now the whole River Canyon area that I have that encompasses about a quarter of the route is completely terrained and done.
The nice Atlantics.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish those Atlantics were on the DLS.
They are.
They are?
See,
I need
Yeah.
it.
Train Boy 1.
I can't look at those Atlantics without thinking of one like slightly sideways flying off of a bridge.
Oof.
And then I also did a Pacific.
Yeah.
Where
That's
do you
awesome.
get that image from, Libel? Like the Atlantic flying off a bridge. Where's that come from?
The Wrecker.
The Wrecker.
I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know.
Well, you need to read it so that
Great
you know.
read.
It's the cover of the book is one of those SP. I forget what they are.
oh, yes.
Like
Now,
flying off the
yes,
bridge.
yes.
These engines are so
I
nice.
also did F3s and F7s. The F3s were acquired from the Lehigh in New England Railroad after
Yes.
they went bankrupt in 1961.
LNE.
And the F7s were purchased new. So there's a little bit of variation in the paint between the two. Yeah.
Well, as long as we're talking about fictitious lines that we're working on for the eventual multiplayer surveyor route, I've reskinned a bunch of stuff for the, my line. I'm calling it the Fort Judah and Western.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And I'm sorry, I must sound really, really nasally. I've got a bit of a head cold for the viewers, so
Oh, it's fine.
apology.
Cranston.
Oh
Sure.
my.
Hey now.
But there's pictures of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did up the backstop show 60?
Mhm.
That looks really good.
Yep, Backshops 060 and Trains Forge. I forget the railroad that it's supposed to be from. I think the Mikado is also fictitious. But
I
Just sort
think
of
it's
early
based
model
off of
Mikado.
the Yosemite Valley Mikado. Something like that.
no,
That's
it's
awesome.
forgot what it is. I want to say it's Carson something.
Car shops.
No.
Beckett.
But
Weishu
that's awesome.
Valley.
I haven't really used... Or I haven't used any third-party stuff. I've just been reskinning the OS.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that you can use third-party stuff on multiplayer
Yeah.
surveyor, but
That'd be awesome
We'll
to
see.
have.
Certainly hope so.
That'd be awesome, but I'm preparing just in case.
That's why I haven't reskinned anything yet.
yeah.
Actually, I haven't reskinned anything yet because I haven't reskinned anything full stop.
Yeah.
But, I'll be happy to...
You can't reskin anything yet if you don't reskin.
Yeah,
that.
Tap's head. Also, if you don't know what your railroad's going to be called, or what
Yeah,
it's going
that's
to do, I'm winging it. You guys know my strategy. It's to
Yeah.
take bits that are far from one another and make them less far from one another.
Mine's gonna be standard gauge to narrow gauge,
Yeah.
and that's about it. And then off into the woods.
And then it's going to cross the 4-track main line. Surprise.
Speaking of
Surprise!
into the woods, shall we move to the news?
No.
Oh,
Also, because
that
they...
was-
Because now it's time for...
No. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, I guess it's time for Locomotive Versus. Anyway,
Remember
what are we doing?
First.
United States Army Pershing versus the 1623 class. Man.
Okay, fine. I'll represent the
Oh, you sound really excited, Dean.
like the tank?
What?
Like,
What?
it's a,
No,
like the tank?
Army.
Oh, no.
Are you sure?
I mean, it'd be cool, but no.
You sure?
I am sure.
16, whatever.
I didn't know
Plus
Steam
they're short.
Locomotive did tanks.
That'd be awesome, though.
Steam Tankomotive.
Not grow up on Thomas the Tank Engine, Ellis?
Boo.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
Try to be
Is there like a modern?
Are there pictures of these? Can we get pictures?
I mean, I put mine up.
I would have seem to find.
We're prepared as always here on the Terminus. Okay, here's a person. The
Okay,
Connie.
see Okobay's whatever for the superhero.
Wow.
Okay.
That's red.
Yeah, I know.
Da,
can
da, da, da.
I mean,
Okay,
there's
Mike's
one with like that
thing.
hood. Yeah, coffin hood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that.
The Palpatine
Yeah, here
hood?
it is. Yeah, the coffin hood.
Okay, wait up.
Where the hood at?
She's
I run it.
everywhere.
I run it, isn't it?
Can I have a picture of the other one?
Yeah, cut.
Oh my god, I love it.
What, the hood?
Yes. Oh my god.
It's sinister.
It's so cute.
I've never loved an uglier engine. So much wrong with this.
I can't find the Union Pacific 1623 class.
I did, but they had a superheated class that I'm willing to do instead.
What is it called? What is the
Uh,
actual class? Is it actually the 1623 class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just search up 1623 and find it. I'm already on the page, by the way.
It says otherwise.
The face when you post a picture that just says otherwise.
I'll just.
Yeah, these guys really weren't,
Why are these separate? They're the same practically.
Oh my
So-
god.
these guys really
Google
were
said
not
that-
creative with their class naming. They're literally all just a number.
Yeah.
A 4-digit number.
I mean,
Okay, I'm changing it.
according to Google, they don't exist.
They do exist.
They do, though.
What were the
Okay,
numbers?
but
1623 to 1640. Or 403 to 420!
Pacific 403 steam locomotive. Maybe?
Oh,
No.
bullshit.
Are there any that survive?
ugh.
We're
Wait,
already
what
getting
is
the
this
style
18?
points? Damn.
Wait a minute,
Why,
wait a minute. Where's
why
the
are we
618?
choosing this class if there are no
I don't know,
photos
somebody
of it?
put it there, and I think that somebody was a Jillies.
No, I know Julius probably was.
Also, when did Ford have a Shay?
What?
I didn't
It had
find a
one.
picture of the Union Pacific 1623, but I found a picture of a Shay with a Ford logo on the side.
Okay, where's
Let's
the
fight-
618?
Oh, let's fight
Sorry,
this with
the-
something.
Well,
I'm
like,
really glad we figured this out ahead of
Yes.
time.
what, like a Heisler?
The
I
Ford
know,
model
it's
Shay.
like someone
No, it's a-
suggested the idea of, hey, we should figure out verses before. Okay, well, anyways, fuck it. I got a WP Mikado.
What? This is
That
not a
might be-
Mikado.
Okay,
Milky.
consolidation.
There.
Ford
Okay.
What the heck?
easier than doing this.
No, we're fighting
we
sorry?
against 3 of these Ford Shays.
What's the maximum tractive effort? Well, what do you need to realign the axis of the Earth?
Actually, you know what? Fine. Fuck it. I'll just do the superheated version of the.
But is there a
16,
picture of it?
Fine.
Probably.
No.
If it,
Oh my god.
that's all we
do
need. I
another
just need a picture of
consolidation.
something.
Okay, I'll try.
Send nudes.
Hang on. I know what we need to fight.
Oh no. Anyway, I wasn't done in the previous portion.
Yeah, finish that. Sorry.
I'll show
No.
my speaker pack.
We've moved on now. We can't go back.
Are you
No.
sure we're still not quite
No, you
there?
said the
to
thing.
versus-
You said the thing. We can't go back.
Can I say
no
it
turning back.
backwards?
Can you?
Yeah, but it's gonna,
I would be more impressed if you could.
Let me try. Give me a minute. Also, let's fight the.
What the
The
heck
person
did you
who-
just
Winner.
post?
Oh God.
Why, Ball? Just post it
Google
forward.
images. Why do you have to be so convoluted?
All convoluted.
Well, I
Can we
know
have
what we're
the
calling
Merry-
this episode.
Yeah. Cluster.
Tell
No.
Kathy.
What?
TJ diddles kids. Doesn't mean he's good at it.
Oh no!
All right, now that's in the closed captioning.
Jamie, I can't find any pictures of the.
Who gave us this locomotive? Who wrote it
Okay.
there?
You suck, whoever gave it to you.
It's UP Foamer number 2.
Okay, at this point, I'd rather do the WP consolidation.
Just give us a consult. No, you know what?
Right.
Hang
How
on.
about Valley Railroad
No,
97?
Sierra Railway.
Before
No,
we
you're
do
not.
this, susreV evitomocoL. Ellis,
What?
finish your thing.
That's the
It's locomotive
incantation that
versus
moves us
backwards.
back to the previous section.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Okay, I found the Sierra Railway things.
Milky, shut up.
alright, we're never using this. Where did we get it? Anyway, I went to build a friggin' trolley line in under construction, and I realized literally the only trolleys that I had installed in my cane are from Milky. They're Bradford Traction Company trolleys. And I went, why don't I have any? I have literally 0, and now I'm gonna have to make it work with a drawbridge and also a 4-track railroad crossing.
Are you getting the choo-choos, Milky?
I'm getting choo-choo.
This is the
Okay,
dumb
I
you
know
know.
I can get pictures of this one.
Why don't we just get 97?
Yeah, I want to do 97. I want TG to do 97.
Actually, done.
All right, fight me.
Sierra Railroad 28.
All right, cool. Let's get
Wait,
on
what are we
with
doing?
it.
Sierra
Yeah.
Railroad 28? Okay. What is this? Wait. Can we have a picture, please?
We can.
Okay.
Because there's actual pictures of it, and it's
Because it's a thing that exists.
yeah. It's not a myth. It's not a legend.
Come on, Milky, get on with it.
It's not a
Come
myth,
on.
it's not a legend, as he struggles to get an
There's
image
an
of it.
actual picture of it.
This is a terrible picture.
Oh my god, we
Okay,
have to
I'll
roll
get a
with
better
it.
picture of it. then.
Blurry boy.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Hang on.
Okay,
Why does it have
I
a
think
star
this
on the
is
smoke
97.
box?
there we go.
So to
a
re-
better-
Soviet
to the
spy.
This locomotive versus is the Valley Railroad 97
Yeah.
versus Sierra 28.
No, it's whatever Milky's trying to conjure versus
Sierra 28.
Yeah.
This is a tank.
versus the perishing tank.
Okay, we're still using the Persian.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
John
let's go.
Darth Vader perishing.
Do-
No, John
we have
Palpatine
a-
perishing.
Let's
Okay,
get-
wow, that's actually the perishings are a lot closer to the Sierra Railway engine than I thought.
How are you
Get
finding
on with
this
it.
out, Milky?
Okay, so
We-
He
You're
quietly
conceding.
avoids the question.
well, no, I looked up the picture of it.
Uh-huh.
You know, the picture of the Persian engine that we have in the chat. I clicked
Also,
on it.
when did I get a point?
For making that god-awful tank pun.
Oh, yeah. How did I get a point?
For
cheating.
How did I get a point?
think
By
we should-
just, yeah, for
TJ get a
cheating.
point.
I didn't
Suspicion
cheat.
of
I looked up
cheating.
a legitimate
Collusion.
picture that you posted in the chat.
How did
I was
he
making
do-
the comparison between two pictures. That's it.
Anyway,
You know,
Sounds like
it's
sounds
2018.
awfully suspicious.
Start.
No.
Oh my god.
Why will need to say locomotive versus again?
Oh, that's right.
There we go. Okay,
There, now
so
we're good.
who's gonna go first?
Who was built first?
Military boy, or okay, we'll do it off of that. Who was built first?
1922.
1917.
Okay, so Milky gets the point. I'm on the wrong document.
Okay.
These are both really old boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm older though.
What's your minimum weight of rail?
Minimum weight of rail 63.
53.
Damn.
Oh my god.
The Sierra engine is tiny.
These guys could run on logs.
Yep.
The Sierra, they probably did.
Oof.
Yep. You aren't wrong.
Well, Milky.
What is your boiler pressure?
Boiler pressure. 190.
Damn. 180.
Ha!
I don't know how you thought you were going to win that, although I'm surprised it's as high as 180.
I'm also surprised that the other one is as low as 190.
Yeah.
But yeah, how would you expect to win that one?
I don't know. I was looking at the two pictures that I pulled up beforehand.
I was looking at the steamlocomotive.com website.
How many of you were built?
Jeez.
One.
1,570.
Well, you know what? That shouldn't come back later.
Effing seriously?
No, it's not.
That shouldn't come back later.
No, it is going to come back later. I
Make a
know
big
how he's
point
going to
out
do
of it.
this.
How is he gonna do this?
Percent surviving.
Okay,
Style points.
yeah. He gets percent surviving, but Dean gets number of survivors
I know.
because he has more than one. So they just cancel each other out.
That's also true. Anyway.
Anyway.
Dean, continue.
Who built you?
Baldwin.
Damn it, same.
All right.
Why does that matter? What is that point?
Baldwin's best.
Baldwin is bailed win. All right.
Bailed.
Milky. Wait, you had 1,000 engines built and they were all Baldwin?
Yep, looks like that.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And fairly unrealistic, but okay.
It says it on here, so.
Well, everything on the internet is true.
I was gonna say, who are we to doubt the internet?
Well, we just spent 20 minutes looking for a class of locomotive that allegedly doesn't exist, so
Yeah.
Oh, it has no.
Well, it allegedly exists, but we can't prove it.
only according to the internet it
Any-
exists.
Yeah. It actually actions. Just like the tractor Bedford stats. Yeah.
Attractive effort.
That was a really, really
What?
weak attempt at a segue.
That makes no sense.
Attractive effort.
That was
What?
really, really weak.
It's I mean, I would give another point for that because that was
You know what?
bad.
I missed the last podcast by 30 minutes, so I'm a bit rusty. Okay.
Okay, yeah, sure. Anyway, what's your attractive effort, Dean?
I'm looking. Oh, here. No, wait, here it is. 35,611.
Damn it.
For the viewers, it's an important disclaimer that we are not high right now.
No, we just act like it. Anyway, Milky,
29,900.
that was surprisingly close.
Ha 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 ha.
I tried. I thought I had more.
Mm. Weed on drivers.
Wait on drivers. Wait on drivers. Drivers on wait.
The wad.
Wait on drivers. 127,600 pounds.
Crap. 150,000.
I don't know how you expected to win that.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
You had 10.
Engine weight.
Your weight of rail was 10 whole pounds higher than his.
I forgot.
Okay. Engine weight.
Engine weight. 166,400 pounds.
Okay. 142,000 pounds. What's your tender of it weight?
109,000 pounds.
90,500 pounds. Okay, give me the other one. Total engine and tender weight.
275,400 pounds.
232,500 pounds.
Uh,
Okay, what is
Milky's
your...
taking the lead.
What's your water capacity? I'm curious.
5,400 gallons.
I would hope you're curious. This
Damn
is
it.
locomotive versus after all.
We just established that his tender was heavier, even though you were an oil burner.
Look, you
My water capacity is 4,000 gallons.
Ha.
What's
I-
a tiny?
Sorry.
Can't go very far.
Driver diameter.
48.
56.
Yeah.
Cylinders.
Okay, because
That's more apparent in the other picture.
high pressure cylinders, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
One.
19 by 26.
21 by 28.
Curiosity, because you're both so old, are either of you superheated?
Am I? It looks like I
Do
am.
you have a superheating surface stat?
I do, yes.
Okay, then yes.
I do too.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Firebox area.
130 feet.
181.
Ooh.
Great area.
28.20.
32.7.
Oof,
Another oof.
that was
Evaporative heating surface.
close. 1560.
1862. Superheating surface.
332 square feet.
420.
Blaze it!
Oh,
Combined heating surface.
Okay, now we're on height. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
100. 1,901. I bet.
2282.
Jesus.
Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
183.839.
165.88.
Did Milky just win that?
Yeah,
Damn.
I did.
Dang it.
Need to come back. Okay.
Alright, Milky, you're only down by 9 points. You can do this. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I misread that. You're down by 6 points.
Yeah.
You're only down by 6
I would
points.
say I don't think I'm being beat up that bad.
Well, almost.
Yeah, almost. Oh, you went through all that.
Tread lightly, dude.
What's your factor of
I
that?
see what you did there.
A factor of adhesion. Where'd it go? 4.21.
4.26.
God damn it. Well,
Slightly better.
There
I
goes-
had a higher
there goes
one.
Milky's chance to come back.
Yeah.
Also, how are both of you too fat?
I don't
Because
know.
they're weak.
Both so cute and little.
They're weak.
Driver wheelbase.
Driver wheelbase.
Like, really?
Oh, we're going up here. Okay.
Really, guys?
14.50.
15.50.
Whoops, I did that back.
Oof.
Yeah, we already established that you have much larger drivers than he does.
Yeah.
I don't know
Again,
why
I
you
forgot.
didn't, like, that didn't jump out at you.
It's the only thing we've established thus far is we all suck at this game.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
It's 7-13. Milky has the ball, but we have hit 20 total points, so we could go to style points if Milky wants to. If you think you could gather up 6 more style points than him.
No.
I didn't think
Just
so.
I'm not feeling, I'm not feeling confident in that. So, you know what? What's your ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase?
0.65.
Damn it! Same.
Same? Oh my god. Alright.
Rip.
Alright, Dean. You can go to style points now if you want to, or you can continue.
Robert Lewis, see this power computation.
Okay, 5,076.
6213.
Damn it!
Theme was above. Plus superheater percentage.
Seems a blow.
Yeah.
Same, but with love.
5,939.
7331. Substitute. Let me excuse me. Same as above, but substitute firebox area for grid area.
20,010.
40,580.
Oh no.
That was a stop. Power L1.
8,813.
10,343. Power MP.
Okay, this is the one that can make or break this.
What do you mean this is the one that'll make or break this? You are down by 10!
609.07.
608.06.
Seriously?
Yep.
That was real close there. Why was that so close?
Oh, whoops. Just gave that to the wrong person. Alright, Milky.
Yeah.
You're only down by 9.
Now let's go to style points. You'll be okay with that.
Alright, 17 to 7, or 17 to 8, we're going to style points.
Okay, first of all, how many? What's your survival percentage?
Alright, we already
that's-
established that Milky has a better survival percentage because all of his engines survive. He only has one engine.
We've also established that Dean's number of survivors is
Dean,
better
how many
because
of
he has
yours
more
survive?
than one.
I'm pretty sure it's at least one. I don't
Well,
really
at
know.
least one. You
actually.
sent a picture of one.
We're looking at a photograph.
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
So at
because-
least one.
I know of at least one survivor. That's all I know.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
I know there's more than one. Hang on. There's at least 2. There's at least 3.
Okay, well, he gets that point.
But how many operate out of those 3?
At least
One?
one.
No, one.
At least one.
You
so
know what? We also have a 100%
that doesn't matter.
operating
We're not
rate.
giving a point for that.
No.
I will
because
give a
I
point,
operate.
however, for the cool feed water heater on this other one,
Yeah.
because I love these things.
Uh-huh.
And also,
Sierra 28 had a star on the front of it for a while.
yeah. Also, the fact that these things had power reverse,
I was in a few movies.
and Milky did not have power reverse.
Uh,
Alright, he's in a couple of movies, I'll give him that.
And I never upped my home road.
Is that a good thing?
I've always been
I'm-
on the Sierra Railway.
I'm not sure I want to give that.
From when I was built to today. I've
Actually,
never
you know what? I'll
That-
give a point for that because it's still running. It's still there. You know, it's been over 100 years.
Okay. I mean, lots of engines have that, though.
Really? Do they?
Yes!
Do they really?
473, 476,
Okay,
478,
you're gonna name
481,
all the
482,
Colorado narrow gauge engines.
Yeah.
They still count. I'm just saying, it's like,
Most.
only because that's
Okay,
going
it's
to
rare
cancel.
for a
No.
standard
Let
gauge
me,
steam engine to have
okay,
that
let me
kind
talk.
of thing.
Let me talk. Hang on. I'm only against that because it would cancel out the other style point for the Pershings that I think is much cooler. That they were sent all over the frickin' world.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah.
I think that's a better style point than, it's been in the same place forever.
well, I think they're both valid style points.
They're both valid. I just wish that the world one would have a little bit more clout to it because I think it's cooler.
Well,
Clout?
unfortunately,
Did
all
you say
style
clout?
points have the same clout.
Well,
Unfortunately, I'm biased towards this.
I mean, I think that's particularly
What-
cool. I don't live in a state where any of the steam locomotives run in the, where they started, much less survive. Because New
don't live in
Haven.
a state where any steam locomotives run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or survive.
Yeah. If you look at, excluding the examples of the narrow gauges, which really don't have very far to, very many places to go.
A lot of them went to Alaska.
Yeah. But
Uh-huh.
most steam engines that run aren't where they started.
Fair.
It's unique, or it's unusual at least, to have an engine that's running still, that's still tied to the railroad it runs on.
Why is this
They
a
never
thing?
have the property, essentially.
I found a photo of 28 painted up for the DNRG.
Why?
Also, I
For
will
a
give
movie.
28 a style point for that star, because that's a little paint job you don't see every day.
Yeah, that's stylish.
Wrong.
Also, what's your air compressor?
Cross
Okay, they
compound
both
on
got
the-
cross compound. Okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 21 to 12.
Man, this is a close
Yeah,
one. I'm
rough
biting my
stuff.
nails.
Yeah,
They-
I'm really on the edge of my
They
seat,
both
guys.
got doors.
They do both have doors.
I think 28 has better air reservoir space.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
I think it's too close to call, honestly.
Oh, I was looking at the other one. The picture of 300. Yeah, I guess it's closer.
Pretty close. 28 has a cork.
What?
Park arrestor looks like a cork.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know.
General. That's not a style
Well,
point.
I
I just
think,
thought it was funny.
I think Milky loses by a lot.
Milky loses hard.
I mean, I wonder what this could have been like if the 1628 class had
we actually-
existed.
What if we had used Valley Railroad number 97?
Well, maybe
Oh,
you'll
wait,
have
wait,
to
wait.
take them on next time. Here's what we'll do. I'll put this in the.
Or we could have done the Orca one.
Wait. I have white walls.
What? Why do you need more points, Dean? You're already about to win.
Okay, well he's
That's-
up by 10 now.
I have white walls.
Again, I'm not sure I want to give you the white walls one because 28's had white walls before. Not
Yeah.
all of you had white walls. In fact, I'm looking at a picture of one of you, and all of the running gear is red.
What?
It's one that's in Europe. It's painted like a German engine. The whole thing's black, and the running gear is red.
I'll give him a point for having lots of paint schemes.
Yeah. So that's fair. Lots of paint schemes.
That's fair.
Alright, anyway, we can stop the murder now.
Please stop the murder.
Stop,
I
he's
dropped
already
the
dead.
bar.
Why would you beat a dead horse? Why would you shoot it? Maybe it kicked you. It's dead!
Man, I have a couple of great... I added another possible title for this episode.
Oh no.
What?
That.
Well, the first one is what Leibold said, it's just locomotive versus backwards. And the other one is The Legend of Tractive Effort.
Legend.
Because that's what Milky said.
Oh yeah,
Legendary,
yeah,
like,
legendary
tractive effort.
Oh. Yeah. What were you going for there?
It makes no
Dope.
sense.
Dope segue.
You know what? It was a segue. Which I got pissed off that you gave me a point, so getting straight.
You cheated!
No, I did. I was looking
I
at
mean,
the
if he had
Steam Locomotive
cheated,
photo
he-
that you provided
Listen,
in the chat.
If he had
Are you
cheated,
sure about
if he had cheated,
You
he
stupid
probably would have
fuck.
done better.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
If you cheat, at least cheat well. No, leave him. Let him have the point still.
I didn't
If for nothing else, the
I
horrible
screenshot
segue.
my screen.
Yeah, now he deserves it. But it's all right. Let's do
Now
our
he
votes.
deserves it.
You know what?
Yeah,
I was sorry. No.
Throw him in prison. When he kills someone in prison in self-defense, then he'll deserve it.
That's how this works.
Yep.
The U.S.
No,
justice
I just
system.
mentioned that the link for the photo for the person was from steamlocomotive.com, and I clicked on that explicit link from the
All
photo.
right.
Fine.
I
Wander
get.
under the-
Listen, I believe you that you weren't cheating. You're still keeping the point, though.
If we name the rant, deserves a point.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Fire.
Anyway, let's vote.
In the police car. EJ?
I vote for Sierra Railroad number
I
28.
vote for the U.S. Army pershing.
I vote for the person.
Yay.
Everyone loves a good tank,
Except me.
Engine.
except you, because you're a scrub.
I hate it.
Ree.
Ree.
Oh man, there's a segment later that's gonna be fun. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm just getting prepared for that, for the end of the show, and this is gonna be a fun one. Anyway, so not local
no.
rail this time. Fresh from the shop. Let's talk about some news.
Some noose?
Some news. Yeah, we saved the Two-Track was going to talk about the Durango residents versus DNS, but we were running out of time, and I was like, yeah, I'll save that for when Wybolt's here.
Yeah, so...
Also, Milky, holy
long story.
crap!
Yeah.
You took a million
Jiminy.
pieces of news.
Well, I can tie them all together. pretty
Okay,
much.
anyway, sorry, Wybolt, go ahead.
Right. Anyway, for anybody who doesn't know, the Durango and Silverton has had a horrendous season. First there was a fire, then there was a landslide, then there was vandalism, now there's a lawsuit, then it was raining frogs, then it's... The
Cats
question
and
this
dogs
year has
living
been-
together.
Yeah, exactly. The question this year has been, who at the DNS pissed off God? Because these guys cannot catch a break.
Literally all.
Recently, they just got their track put back together so they can actually go from Durango to Silverton again. However, this has brought on another little bout of bad luck. Almost immediately after they fixed the track, they hit a car
I was
in
about to
town
say, you
because
forgot that
apparently
one.
I forgot that one.
Yeah.
Apparently in the apparently in the couple months that they weren't running out of Durango, the residents of Durango forgot how a train worked.
I like how that's the response in the article. It's like, well, perhaps they aren't used to the train. It's been gone for all of 2 months.
Yeah, it's been running for 137 years, and then they take a 2-month break, and everybody, suddenly we have a Hyundai crash into the side of 486, which a lot of people were very concerned afterwards if the locomotive had been damaged, to which I reply,
Lol.
Really? Yeah, really? You think the Hyundai is going to hurt the locomotive? Oh, no, you scratched the paint. Here, spray some oil on it. It's done. Better. In addition to hitting the car, though, the residents of Durango, or a number of select residents and businesses, have formed together to have a lawsuit, or hold a lawsuit. What would
We're going to have a lawsuit. Let's go out and have a lawsuit.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to throw a lawsuit. What
Throw a lawsuit.
proper nomenclature? I don't know. But anyway, a number of residents and businesses are suing the Durango and Silverton for causing the 416 fire. As of yet, this lawsuit has yet to be picked up by any official court. It has not been served to the DNS because there is no official cause for the 416 fire yet. And all this has really done thus far is piss a bunch of people off, and it has lost the businesses involved a lot of business. So, congrats,
Good
guys.
job.
Great job. What else? I think that's... Oh, and then one more thing for the DNS, just because it ties in nicely. Following the 416 fire, and the other DNS plague of spending several $1 million on a new expansion to the roundhouse and diesel locomotive facility for 2 $1.5 million diesels that they're having built for next year. They're also going to restore 493 to be an oil burner, which I think I've talked about. SP narrow gauge 10-wheeler number 18, which is based out of Laws, California, I believe.
Yep.
It will be visiting the Durango and Silverton this coming winter to help with training the DNS crews for oil firing and engine.
Training.
Training band.
Randy Babcock, one of the roundhouse high-ups at the DNS, has worked very closely with the 18. I don't know if he was one of the project leads out there, but is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Along with Charlie, who's also high up at the DNS, and Jeff Taylor, who is my boss. So, yay 18! Hey! Be
Hey.
at the DNS, and we will probably go and see it at some point.
Awesome.
So, look forward to
Take
that.
foamy pictures.
Oh, Graham has already
I'm
heard about this.
listen,
And immediately texted
I already
me,
heard.
like,
He's already been
Yeah.
going nuts.
my
He
God.
almost was on this podcast, too. But anyway, if we want to
He's
talk
texting
about...
me like, "Oh my God, we need to go and take pictures. I'll drive you. We need to do chase pictures."
Well, Graham was in my neck of the woods. Graham was in my neck of the woods, where there are two commuter rail companies now that have finished their PTC installation and are moving on to testing. Both the MBTA and Metro North have wrapped up installing all the equipment they need, everything. The MBTA is asking for an extension so they can finish doing their testing and everything like that. And Metro
they
North...
need an extension considering half the railroads in the country haven't even started.
Yeah.
Really, just do it.
Finally
Fine.
decided that effort has reached a significant milestone. This is for Metro North, and so they're going to be testing between Tarrytown and Croton Harmon. Which, Croton Harmon, for those who don't know, is the former site where the New York Central Railroad would switch from electric to steam on the way out, or steam to electric on the way in. But yeah, anyway, that's that. So yeah, both
Speaking
of these
going to see things.
both of these have hit major milestones. And sorry, TJ, you keep trying. I keep not.
I
letting
keep
you.
trying. I'm trying really hard. Speaking of trying really hard, though,
Try hard.
the WWF is having its work weekend, and they are trying very hard to progress their railroad forward. They are within 1,000 feet of the bridge that they just put up, and there are pictures under this link that is
That says work
right
weekend.
here.
It's in the cargo.
It says work. It says work weekend, yeah. And it has pictures of their chalkboard, a train track crew, the train track laying machine that they challenged Como
And
with,
the machine.
and more pictures of the right of way with track on it, which looks amazing, and I cannot wait to ride that because it looks incredible.
They don't have
You know
ballast
what's
yet, though.
incredible?
They do not have ballast yet, but they do have things that'll prevent the weeds.
Yeah, they don't have
Speak of
ballast
things
yet.
that
But they are going to put ballast down, and it's going to be real ballast, too.
Yeah,
it's gonna be real ballast.
Wow.
It's going to be made of rocks.
As opposed to what? Plastic?
DNS.
Yeah.
Wait, it's either the DNS.
No!
I don't know. There's just something about this. There's a picture of it going around the line that goes around a corner
Mm-hmm.
into the farther into the woods, and it's on a hill, and it just looks so good, and I cannot wait to see a little Forney coming around that corner.
Yep. Well, I mean, if we were there, we probably could see that.
Yeah, well, maybe not on this track, but
I mean, they're running out on the track that's just laid without ballast.
they use a speeder.
Oh, okay. I saw a picture
Speeder.
of the steam engine on it.
Yeah, that's the regular excursion. That's the regular times. It says a few extras for the North End track crew, but I don't think it got that far down because it's not ballasted yet, so they probably didn't want
I
to.
mean, they might have. I don't know.
I mean, you can still run on track that isn't ballasted.
There is a picture in here of the steam engine on track that clearly does not have ballast.
Where?
I just saw it. I need to go. I'm scrolling all the way back through to find it.
It's not in the
It's not
link
it.
I sent.
Yeah, it is. Yep, found it.
What? Where?
I'm looking at it.
Which?
Copy image. I'm posting it right here. I'm gonna let the viewers see as well.
Yeah, so they can see how dumb I am.
Yeah, you're dumb.
Huh.
Your chum.
Well, that wasn't in the. That wasn't in the one I sent.
It is
Sorry,
actually.
couldn't
That's how I found it.
What?
As you
Just
do.
stop digging, TJ.
Stop digging yourself in a deeper hole.
I want my hole to be 6 feet deep by the end of this podcast.
F.
How much
You
dirt
like
is in a
12.
hole 6 feet by 6 feet by 6 feet?
None, because it's a hole. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Hole's a hole.
yeah.
Speak of a
One in
hole.
the shoal.
Oh, I was gonna go
Western
with
Maryland-
you know who else is
You know,
digging
not-
themselves deeper, but
Yeah. Yeah, speak of a hole specifically for money in this case. Western
That they
Maryland
can't get out.
Mine was test fired the other day. The boiler was. Apparently it works. Apparently it doesn't leak.
didn't
it
explode.
Doesn't have. It didn't explode yet. Chris texted me that they're test firing the boiler, and I immediately texted back, "Duck and cover." But apparently that wasn't necessary. The engine currently
Like it
lacks
blew up.
a boiler jacket, or lagging, or a cab, or wheels.
But it's almost there, though.
Yeah,
But it's almost there. It'll be running, 3 months ago for photo
Yeah.
excursion?
They're gonna send it back with a time machine, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
once this baby hits 88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I hope this thing never goes to 88 miles an hour. Jesus Christ.
It was blood
Well, I
red
mean,
when
they
we
somehow
started.
got
Now
to
it's
know
clean
where it
white.
would be.
But hey,
Don't
new
worry.
steam. Steam is in the air. And speaking of not having a boiler jacket, I know another engine that doesn't have a boiler jacket.
97.
Hey.
Armies.
The real 97, unlike the question we asked this afternoon. is
significantly
running.
less likely to explode.
Yeah, Valley Railroad number 97, the consolidation that was originally with the railroad when it started, is the scenic road.
Yeah, not
the
100 years
actual
ago.
road. Yeah. It's under steep again, and I linked a picture of it.
And we're going to go see it. And I was going to talk about going to see it. And then we went to Locomotive Versus.
I know, that's why I wanted to go back. I was like, no, we need to talk about going to see it.
Hang on.
No.
Because then you have to go soon, and then server...
God damn it. Anyway,
photo.
yeah, so that's in a couple of weeks. TJ and I are going to foam the Mass Bay Railroad enthusiasts putting on their doubleheader, and 97 is also going to be there. Running.
Conveniently.
Conveniently. Yeah.
Isn't that convenient?
Yes, it's very convenient.
For us, because... so excited.
And you know what's pretty convenient? When you need to clear off some leaves?
Cumberland
A
Farms.
goddamn laser beam.
The sun is a dead dude.
Yeah. So
Frickin'
the
laser
Long Island
beams on their
Railroad is getting a
frickin' heads.
laser to melt leaves away.
That's awesome.
What the hell?
Yes.
My goodness.
The MTA
So-
board on Wednesday gave the green light to a special laser train that will cruise the tracks and blast away slimy fallen leaves.
Wow.
That sounds
Are they at all
awesome.
concerned about melting, rabbits or the track
No.
or
What
anything?
were rabbits doing?
I don't think it's that powerful. But,
Pew, pew.
yeah,
They're
so
melting leaves.
last year, they had to fix 3,390 wheel sets last fall
Wow.
and winter because of leaf residue and slip-slide conditions, because they tend to make the trains slip and give them flat spots. So what happens is
No, there's a need.
the leaf residue builds up on the wheels, which causes them to slip, which triggers an automatic brake, which then gives the wheels flat spots because they're just rolling along and some of the wheels stop.
Yep.
So yeah, they're going to get this laser train, which is from Laser Tribology BV, which is an Amsterdam-based company.
Oh,
They're
great.
getting a leaf zapping. They're building the LIRR, a leaf zapping train.
Jesus. I was hoping for a giant leaf blower on trucks.
Well, they do that for
Would've been
snow.
Yeah. What they're not gonna disintegrate the snowflakes.
You're gonna laser beam
They haven't
them
built
away.
a death ray for the summer rainstorms yet.
Burner!
But yeah, lasers. Trains with freaking lasers attached to them.
Their freaking heads.
Yeah. But anybody else got laser-related things? I don't know how you could segue away from a laser train.
I'll let somebody
You can't
else.
I don't
segue
know.
on
Get a
anything.
segue on laser.
I don't know. The new China high-speed whale might look like a laser going by at fast speed.
Ah, boo.
Also, but
Zippers.
it's slower than the
A
old
laser.
one.
It's slower than it was 80
Yeah.
years ago.
Get good, China.
But anyways, new high-speed train sets to be able in the next 3 months, and they're 350 kilometer per hour train sets.
What is that in freedom units?
In America.
I'll
Put that in American.
I'll check because we have this thing called Google. 217 miles per hour. That's not too
That's
bad.
pretty fast, but get gooder.
Yeah, get good.
Anyways, Bombardier is doing this.
Wait, they're making the trains?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think.
Okay.
Really?
That surprises me. Yeah.
Wait, so we're importing trains from China and they're importing trains from us?
Why don't we just trade?
Yeah.
Globalism.
Yeah.
Connections,
Huh.
consumers.
Globalism has failed.
Movies
Screw
delivered to your
globalism.
house.
Screw
And
globalism.
they're officially
Frog.
branded,
Sure, the
Fuck
frickin'
you.
frog's gay.
meaning we true names. Okay. But yeah, anyways, that's cool that other places around the world are catching on to high-speed
I
rail.
mean, other places around the world,
California.
as in, like,
California is also catching
As in
on to
everywhere but
high-speed rail.
us. Other places
Except
in
for-
the world are catching on.
Except for
Because we
California.
haven't yet.
Because we got a pair of articles detailing the good and the bad of
Yeah.
it. Good that they have finally picked a route for the California high-speed rail. And apparently there's also a bad article that I briefly skimmed through, but don't think I got too much out of it. Before it was removed from the stock.
God damn it. You're supposed to click on it and keep it open. If you're talking about it.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, they're very upset. People are
But
upset.
high-speed rail.
Yeah,
Good.
they're you know.
And then the Trenton's article piggybacks off of a New York, or not New York, LA Times article that goes into a bit more detail, and that says, compared with other alternatives, this route would be the easiest to build and cause the least harm.
Okay, so
So
here's what this article is. This other one. They had a meeting where they unveiled their new section.
Okay.
The Palmdale to Burbank section, which is the one that they have plans for. And
Yep.
then then the train went off the rails and over the cliff. So
Oh, great.
attendees from the Northeast San Fernando Valley interrupted officials, accused them of not giving straight answers to questions, and eventually shouting them down. If tomatoes were available, they would have been flying. Somebody in the audience yelled, "We don't want your train." And among those who spoke at the meeting, there were no champions. There were pointed questions about all the noise and pollution during construction, seismic dangers, traffic diversion, relocation of businesses, and none of the 75 or so attendees seemed to be satisfied with the answers. "Put it somewhere else. We don't want it here," one of them shouted.
Yeah, in the LA
Fuck
Times
you too.
article, they're holding up signs like devastation and destruction, Shadow Hills.
You're going to destroy my
That
property.
train-
You can stand up there because you're not going to be impacted. You're not going to be
That
impacted. You're
train
not being
murdered
impacted.
my father.
You're going to get paid.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose your house. And, I mean, it's upsetting when you get eminent domain, but at the same time,
Yeah.
maybe we are the
Eminent
ones that
domain
should be
are
catching
fucking-
on.
Also, a good chunk of it is underground,
They're being pretty
according
ballsy
to
with
the
their
LA
routing.
Times article.
Yeah. Not sure about that.
Well, actually, I'll just post the LA Times article, but the Trains Magazine article piggybacks off of it.
So, yeah, they're upset.
Anyways, the
Eminent
biggest
domain.
challenge-
Why don't they just
Yeah.
put a chicken coop up there?
their biggest challenge is the San Gabriel and Tehachapi Mountains. Yeah, so true.
I mean, to be fair, it's not as if Southern California has a problem with traffic or anything.
No.
No, it
No,
totally
really?
doesn't. LA is the best city for traffic.
Also, it's also not like the residents of Southern California are notoriously and famously bitchy or anything, but
You think?
Yeah.
It's like it's. I mean, LA is a true driving city. They call it the driving city. So
Except
Yeah,
it's
they
not
do.
the driving city, it's the stuck in
I was going
traffic
to say,
city.
they don't call it the stopping city?
they call
The
it
stuck city or the taxi city, the Uber city?
no, it's the driving city because everybody drives. Super easy, no traffic,
No, none.
no traffic.
Not at
They
all.
don't need your stinking alternatives.
No. What LA needs is an anti-traffic laser.
No, you know what
Last
they
car-
need? They need a train to come through and hit them.
There you go.
Because
God, segue
it's time to talk about Brightline.
Oh, God.
And you know what? People aren't happy with Brightline either. People aren't happy with California High-Speed Rail. People aren't happy with Brightline either.
I'm shocked.
No,
They're just- I mean,
not because it keeps hitting people. Not because it actually hasn't hit anybody lately. Not because it keeps hitting people.
Don't say that.
But because, well, listen. I
We'll hear
can't
you.
stop Florida Man from doing Florida Man things.
I
But
tried to buy an 8-year-old at Walmart.
but there aren't enough passengers riding Brightline. They wanted, they expected to have
I wonder why.
many more than they currently have. So they projected 1.1 million passengers, but that was based on the service launching in late 2017. They started carrying passengers in January, and they didn't ramp up its full schedule until August. So it took them a
Jeez.
while to get running. Because of setbacks.
Are they counting the people that are just in the coaches, or are they also counting the people plastered across the front of the locomotive?
Well, those guys don't
Because
pay.
that might help
Those
their
guys
figures
don't
a
pay
little
their
bit.
fares, so they don't count.
Okay.
But
It's standard procedure, right?
yeah, but fare revenue increased up from blah blah blah. The first half of the year totaled 2.2 million, which is 9% of what they predicted for the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's rough.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Hopefully they'll get more people on board with the with the fact that they're going to be running their full schedule now, 16 trains a day or 16 round trips or something like that. Unfortunately, the introductory bargains are mostly gone. But it, I don't know. Hopefully they can continue to draw more and more people, and they can break even at some point. But yeah, rough times for Brightline. However, they are still continuing to expand. They aren't giving up yet. They're going to be building to Orlando. They're, as they say, one step closer to reality. And this could really help with their passenger ridership, because think about it. A lot of people fly into Orlando, which is where the train will connect at the airport. And
it's also where Disney and Universal
yeah,
are.
kind of important stop right there.
That's like the place in Florida to have a stop.
That means you can get from Orlando to Miami without getting in a car. So you can get from Disney to the beaches without lifting a finger, basically.
Yeah, without hiring a taxi or having a car because you're on vacation.
Exactly. So
it's almost like, hang on, no. We got to be careful. We're getting awful close to making sense here.
Yeah. And Brightline is trying to raise its public opinion. They had a Christmas train, which we talked about last time, and they are doing a tasting train, which is culinary experiences, as they're saying, which, wine, spirits, live music on board the train.
Licking the locomotive.
A live counter of how many people you hit. So... yeah. So it's going to be leaving, Fort Lauderdale, arrive at Miami Central Station, then they'll move to the lounge, there'll be a party there, and then they'll take people back to Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. I don't know. It sounds like a great time. I mean, I love that Brightline is going out and doing these kind of things, and hopefully people learn how convenient having Brightline is. And there's an article here which seems to be a quite nice article, which is called "Riding Brightline: America's Train of the Future." Ooh, the future.
By hitting people.
Yeah.
No.
Boom.
No. It's fueled by the corpses of those they hit. That's how it's fueled.
But you can.
They hit the dinosaurs?
$15 to $20, depending on the route length, to zip around South Florida at 79 miles an hour on Brightline. It's a fair price for a major respite from traffic, road rage, and crazy Florida drivers. And for visitors, it's a steal compared to the $40 to $65 rideshare it takes to get between Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and a mega bargain compared to the $100 rideshare between Miami and West Palm Beach. I like how the go-to comparison now is like Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know who would do that well. Maybe if you're really vacationing in Florida and you're just blowing your money, you're going to be spending, you're going to be buying those incredibly overpriced long-distance ride shares. But
I mean, in fairness, every report that I've read, and I've read quite a few of them for some reason lately, says that millennials are in general more adverse to using cars. Not necessarily like, cars are horrible or whatever, but a lot of people just don't like driving. They'd rather either take a cab or an Uber or a Lyft or a bus or public transit. Everybody says that.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Or a Stargate.
Especially when you're out on vacation, though, renting a car is such a pain in the butt. And
it is.
If you're a college student, you probably can't.
Yeah.
You might be too young, so it's definitely, it's the kind of thing where I can see where that's coming from. Especially, and the other thing is, gas prices are more expensive. Gas prices are expensive as ever. It's a pain to own a car and to fuel a car and to, keep a car maintained and stuff like that when,
Well, gas prices are better than what they were during, say the recession.
Yeah, but they're still
They're
not
much
great.
better.
No.
It's almost like
Well, and they're not going to get any.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Like, I remember a couple years ago that gas down here costs as low as $120.
I would say buy an electric car, but apparently Union Pacific is holding them hostage.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's because of precision scheduled railroading
Oh,
that they're
no.
holding them hostage.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez. Did anybody
Union
actually listen to the
Pacific
phone
is-
call?
No.
Union Pacific announced their plans to enact precision scheduled railroading similar to what the late Hunter Harrison did at CSX, CP, and CN.
Because this went so well for CSX and for Hunter Harrison.
To be fair, it
Yeah.
went pretty well for CP.
It did, but it didn't for CN or CSX.
Well, I'll give CSX a pass because A, they were a disaster area beforehand. CN is kind of the same way, and also he
what about
died.
Harrison?
He,
I was just saying, it didn't work very well for him, did it?
he didn't get to
Yes.
finish. He's like, all right, we're gonna do precision scheduled railroading. Everyone was like, oh no, and he gets halfway through it and kicks the bucket.
Yeah.
Keeled over and died.
Fourscore and
Anyways,
seven-
there's a
seven
Train
what?
Magazine article. Former Harrison colleagues, they're skeptical of UP's operating plans. We think it's mission impossible unless the whole organization embraces it. One person said, it's a cultural change.
hmm
Yeah.
I like how this.
I mean,
the first thing in the article is saying that, well, they have too many employees.
Yeah,
Live in peace, UP employees, like half of them.
yeah, they're not long there. People do get laid off from precision railroading.
hmm
yeah. I mean, I have said and will continue to say, precision and railroad are almost oxymorons. They should not be in the same sentence.
Unless
And now
you're
you're trying
Japan.
to run a railroad with precision scheduling? No, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
That's a railway. That's different.
That's right.
But, of course, last time,
Well, they're going to change their name to Union Pacific Railway, and it'll make it all possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just how it works.
but, yeah, it's just a few articles that go into a little bit of detail in comparisons between CSX and UP and their physical plant and whatnot, and how hard it would be for them to convert over. And our friend Fred Fahey, who does this blog on Trains Magazine, gave his 2 cents about it. And he mainly talked about employees bearing louts, expensive toys.
Yeah.
The expensive toys being the Steam program.
Yeah, I mean, UP does have that. He actually gets into how precision scheduled railroading works, though, and that's something that I didn't know.
It's a good read.
Like, yeah, not even at all. I didn't understand what that meant, really.
Yeah, you hear Hunter Harrison precision railroading, and you don't know what the hell
You
precision
just know it's bad
railroading
news.
Precision railroading.
Yeah.
But no, this is so the gist of it is, the core of precision scheduled railroading is intense use of assets. As many trains every day in one direction as you do in the other, fill them to the maximum desired length, and operate them at similar speeds. So that way, you never have anything that's, there's an imbalance in the system. This keeps your crews and equipment fleet in motion at all times, and those cars and locomotives not continually used can be retired. Goodbye to growth and increased market share, which is a messy process requiring you to accede to the needs of customers rather than the other way around. But it is efficient. So the idea was, what Hunter Harrison did was, he went and he picked out like the slow days and the fast days, days where people shipped more and days where people shipped less, and he made shipping on the busier days more expensive and shipping on the less busy days less expensive. And so that, incentivized the customers to sort of shift their business to other days and eventually balance out the fleet. Of course, it annoys your customers in the meantime, but
Yeah.
the end result is a very sort of like a very routine railroad. Almost the way you'd operate a model railroad or a passenger railroad specifically, which is why you can get away with that in Japan. Yeah, because you know how many cars you're going to use every day and where they're going to be, and at what times they're going to be there. So, I know it's very, very interesting. It's very cool. It's a very cool concept. I'll give it that. It's just difficult to make work.
Well, it's difficult. It's difficult enough to make work on a small scale, and that honestly is the issue and the difference between the U.S. and Japan in terms of railroads. It's like the scale is just incomparable. Not to mention, in Japan, you still have breakdowns and stuff in Japan. In Japan, you don't have P-42s that are left in the desert for days at a time because they just decide, we're done.
Yeah. Well,
it's broken.
Also, the other thing, I feel like there comes a break point, right? There's a point where your company gets big enough that there are enough shippers that you can balance them out. If you have a very small shipper base, it might be difficult to get them to work with precision scheduled railroading. But I mean, that's true. That's sort of
just because you're being wasteful in a sense. Although that said, even with the precision scheduled railroading, you don't necessarily need to constantly be running trains as long as you're running them on the same schedule, same speed. That speed could be one a day very slowly.
Yeah, that's true. What do you know? The short lines already do PSR.
Yeah.
They're never not using their assets. Anyway.
Yeah, Tap said, if you've only got one locomotive.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, well, what else then? So, speaking of locomotives, right? So, say goodbye to the FL9s. We talked about this, but now there's a Trains article about it. So, Condot has sold the last of its FL9s, which were the 6 that were auctioned off. And they mentioned the new owners, Boston Surface Railroad, Mass Coastal Railroad, Webb Rail, in partnership with the Berkshire Scenic Railroad Museum of Lenox, Mass. I did not know that's where that was going. And Grapevine Vintage Railroad of Grapevine, Texas. Come on. Kevon found out that his engines are going to be painted in the champagne color scheme. Whatever their scheme is.
I think he called it Chardonnay and cream.
It's so bad. It's awful. It's so bad.
Unpopular opinion, I actually kind of like it.
No, don't touch these.
It's very distinct. Well, yeah, I agree. It doesn't look good on the FL9. Leave the FL9s as they are, but I don't know. I don't think the scheme is that bad on its own.
I guess it's not bad on its own. I'm just afraid of what it's going to look like on these. Here's a little segment. Boston Surface Railroad Co., which purchased number 2027, which was built as New Haven 2015 in 1957, has proposed operating commuter... It says they purchased 2 of them, guys. Proposed operating commuter service over the Providence and Worcester Road between the railroad's namesake cities in Rhode Island, Massachusetts. The company's CEO, Vincent Bono, hopes to acquire additional FL9s or other cab units to power Boston Surface's planned trains. The locomotive will be moved to Danville, Rhode Island for mechanical work by the CV Transportation Company. What about the other one? You don't mention the other one they bought.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, nice job, Trains Magazine. Get gooder.
Get more gooder.
Please, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. Well, we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so yeah, they're going to be going to Davisville. That just sort of registered in my head. Hey, TJ. Where the hell did TJ go?
He died.
Whatever. I'm going to go see some FL9s.
I'll go too.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. He finally figured out how to use the mute, and then forgot how to use it when it was muted.
Anyway.
I forgot how to use the not mute.
The not mute.
The not mute.
BDSM, man.
No.
What?
So, there's an article that I had sitting in my thing from last week that Nokia is upset that I grabbed, but he wasn't here last week, so...
Because you started the podcast.
Yeah, be here.
Healthy not.
So they are resuming train testing on the Point Defiance bypass, which was the area where there was that Amtrak wreck a couple of... What was it? That was last year or earlier this year?
I think it was the beginning of this.
Yeah, so this was the Cascades wreck. And so testing of the PDC systems are being conducted in preparation for the return of Amtrak service to the Point Defiance bypass, which should happen in spring of next year. So they will be tested at
They actually stole a Cascades train set to do that.
They stole one to do
Right
it?
now we got one Cascades train set that has all Hawaiian cars instead of Tagos.
Oh, okay.
Because they stole it.
They stole it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, do we have any other stolen things? Like, has anybody stolen a
I
train?
don't know.
Anybody robbed
but-
trains?
I mean, UP's trying to steal some Teslas, apparently.
Aside from that,
I don't know. Some guy stole Skookum when it left in 1955.
What do you mean stole
we
it?
talked
Wait, what
about
do you
that
mean
one.
stole it?
He trapped it out of the trestle that, or the wherever it went, the creek, I think.
For a crick.
He cleaned it out of there. The railroad that ran Skookum pretty much said it's too expensive to crane it, so we're just going to kind of leave it there.
Okay.
Well, some guy 5 years later, after it wet, came up with a crane, and he moved it out, and that's how
You just
Skookum
showed up with a
survived.
goddamn crane?
apparently.
Yeah.
As you do.
Well, he purchased the remains of it, and then got the
Oh,
crane.
okay, so we didn't just make off with it.
No.
That's much less entertaining.
So, yeah, I was going to say, so at the end of it, nobody stole it.
No,
Like, not
nobody
even a
stole
little
anything.
bit.
Sadly.
Well, it got stolen from the creek that it was in before.
I mean, I don't think the
anyone-
Creek
I
filed a
think-
bill of sale for the Skookum engine.
Also, it was bought.
Yeah.
So,
You know who did file a bill of sale?
Oh.
Ford, but we've talked about that. They bought the $90 million
Third.
Michigan Central station. And by $90 million, I mean that's how much they paid for it. In
Really?
Detroit, yeah, $90 million for the derelict Michigan Central Depot.
in Troy?
No, in
Yeah.
Detroit.
Oh,
Ford. You know, that's their place. 600,000
Yeah.
square foot building. Centerpiece of its new facility to develop electronic and autonomous vehicles.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're doing something with the office space in there, because holy mackerel, that place has got a lot of room.
Yeah. Jiminy, Jesus.
Yeah. Hopefully
Hey,
it's in...
and they're going to keep it. So,
I mean,
dude, like, yes, this building has some new life. That's fantastic.
yeah, and if you want to go in before it has new life, you can see it in the afterlife, because they're planning a haunted house inside the station.
That's
There you
great.
Plans are underway for the event. So it's
That's hilarious.
very, very short article about this, but there was an open house, and they're making a haunted house. So sure, go for it, I guess.
Good. Do it.
Go make some autonomous vehicles, but be careful, don't ship them by UP.
Yeah. To hold them
They will
hostage.
take a-
Yeah.
Yeah, they will take a hostage.
Okay.
Jeez.
Anyways, back to the Skookum locomotive.
I like Skookum.
The photo charter actually sold out.
That doesn't surprise me
So-
in the least.
So now they're making a second one. Skookum is days away from being fired up, which it was. And Oregon Coast Scenic has a beautiful video of them blowing the whistle after they got up the pressure.
I'm scooped.
That's so cool.
But anyways, it was, as of writing the article, it was days away from being fired up for the first time in 63 years, in the final phase of a 15-year overhaul on at the Oregon Coast Scenic. The 1909 locomotive has an amazing history that starts with its rejection by a Tennessee logging railroad and its acceptance in the Pacific Northwest and its tragic 1955 derailment that left it abandoned in the woods
F.
when it fell into the creek. an enthusiast saved the locomotive and moved it to safety and eventual restoration. And there's a more in-depth story in the current issue of Trains magazine that was written by Martin Hansen. He's our FRA guy, and he's been involved with many projects, including his own say that he owns in Pineville, Oregon, and he's also worked on Skookum quite a bit.
Skookum!
And the crowd vibe. On top of still our FRA guy. The
whole thing with Skookum is so cool. That's a great engine. I'm so happy for him. Skookum's still a dumb name for a locomotive.
Skookum is the best name for a locomotive. Shut your mouth.
Still dumb.
No.
Anyway.
It's a dumb sounding word, and it's a dumb name for a locomotive.
Yeah, because it's a dumb sounding word. It's a dumb looking engine. It's the best. It goes. It fits. It's because it's dumb that it's good.
It's so bad.
No, you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways,
the unpopular opinion. I stand by it. Skookum is a dumb name. It just is.
Skookum is the best name.
It's also pretty good because now they got a second charter. Yeah, that is going to feature Pulse and Noggin number 2 as well.
Number 2. Are they going to double it?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because I'll probably be there for that charter.
Good, take phony pictures.
Yeah. Speaking of charters, the Cumbres and Toltec recently put on a Chili Line charter.
Yay!
On the Cumbres and Toltec. They took 315, they dressed it up as it was built.
Sort of.
So, 425. They built a wooden pilot out of 2x4s and got a horrible box headlight that is made out of a salad dish. And repainted the engine. It looks great, except for the headlight looks completely wrong. But regardless, other than the headlight, it looks really, really cool. And the marker lights are the wrong. But I'm being nitpicky. I'm really nitpicky. Sorry.
The headlight is so bad. It's so bad.
It was on 683 when she was dressed up as 583, and it was so ugly then too. And they put it on 463 every now and again, and it's so ugly.
Also, this is the Chili Line charter. Shouldn't it have a couple of boxcars or something?
They did when they got to the top.
Oh, okay.
They took because that 315 can't haul.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
They hauled the long RPO, which I can't remember the number on it. I think it's like 54. And their newly restored 292 coach, which is absolutely beautiful. They hauled that up to Cumbres, the summit, and then turned around, I believe, they collected a couple boxcars or a couple freight cars of some description. I can't remember. And then returned. But it was really, really cool. All the pictures look really neat. It's not super historic just because, the liveries of the coaches are different eras and the engine isn't done up correctly. But it's something that's very different looking and it's really cool looking. So that was good for them. And also on the Cats, the 292 coach they had on the rear there, the reason it's painted the way it is and restored to the condition that it is for when they eventually get 168 back, they will have a full train set that is historic to, I believe, like 1910.
Yeah.
That's
Chili
awesome.
Line took in 1910, I think.
It's not going to be a Chili Line specific train. It's just going to be a 1910 train.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard Chili Line now a bit. But
I mean, 168.
I was talking to you about the Chili Line, and then they came out with this. Hi, kitty.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, we're doing a charter." And I was like, "Oh, crap!"
They did actually.
Magazine video is really cool.
Because there's pictures of them at Osier with chili. Oh God, I can't remember what they're called. The little bunches of chilies. What are they called? Yeah. There's a word for them. No.
Red hot chili peppers.
Not peppers. Ristras. They had Ristras up at Osier.
They should have had just like chili at Osier.
Yeah. I'll post a picture of what a chili ristra is for those people that don't know.
I would like to know what this is because I do not.
I never remember the word, but this is the reason that the Chili Line was called the Chili Line, is all of the farms had these hanging out alongside the line way back in the day.
Mm-hmm. So where did the Chile line go to?
The Chile line ran from Antonito, where it broke off of the 4th Division main line, and ran down to Santa Fe.
Which is in...
And New Mexico.
You know what else goes to New Mexico?
The Southwest Chief.
For at least another year.
Nice.
The
It was frozen.
Amtrak has committed to another year of the Southwest Chief. So,
Yay!
yeah, we're stuck with it. It's not going anywhere yet. So, good. The fight has been fought. Amtrak will continue to run the line in its current form through fiscal year 2019, and hopefully by then, Anderson will be taken out by the same squad of hitmen that took out Hunter Harrison, and the UP execs. Oh, that didn't happen yet. And then...
Spoilers.
Your Italian is showing. Careful.
And we will continue to have the Chief forever. Well, maybe not forever. Although Amtrak is... Where is it? I missed this article. It's down here somewhere. Amtrak is going to be doing...
There you go.
Seeking PTC extensions for its lines that don't have it or that are working on getting it. So basically, Amtrak, as we know it, is not going anywhere. However, there was an interesting article dropped down in the guest list, which is... I mean, it starts out a little bit daunting. They say, the Amtrak era is over. It's time for a replacement. And...
With what?
Yeah, well, that's my question, right? That's my question. But I read it. Against my better judgment, I did read the article. And so it talks about that, it talks a lot about it. It sort of harps on the fact that Amtrak was meant to be just very temporary, just a way to sort of let passenger rail die slowly, and then it'll be done. Then it would be done. So passenger train ridership had been slumping, and the nation had transitioned to interstate highways and airlines and that sort of thing, and nobody would ride the train anymore anyway. And then people did, and the federal government was kind of flabbergasted and was like, I guess we're going to have to keep funding Amtrak, because Amtrak exists somewhere between public and private entity. It's just there. It's just a weird hybrid.
Yeah. Well, and yes, in fairness, in the 60s, passenger rail had slumped and people weren't riding passenger trains.
What the heck just got posted?
What do you mean what just got posted?
What the heck?
Why does this keep reposting this? I keep removing this.
It's your fault.
What are you doing?
I don't know, my Skype is broken. I keep trying to remove it. Go away! Anyway, at the bottom is a photo of chili Ristras.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Go away, damn it. Anyway, as I was saying, now that we stand, 50 years later, going on 60 years later, geez, we're sort of turning around and realizing, this reliance on interstate highways and airlines is good for some things, but there is still definitely a place for rail travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to be said for Amtrak, hence the reason that we have it, and we have groups rallying behind things like the Chief.
This isn't about getting rid of passenger rail, which is why...
It's about getting rid of Amtrak?
It's about... So, currently, we operate things like the FAA and the FHWA and MARAD, which I'm not sure what that is.
MARAD?
But these are organizations that, are operated by the federal government. They set a lot of rules, and they also, something they do on the side is they figure out what routes would make sense for new highways or new airlines and stuff like that, and then they find somebody to take that contract. They find someone to do that. So the implication is the author of this article is more or less suggesting that we create an organization that, instead of running trains directly, basically finds rail routes that they think would make sense and puts out contracts to rail companies to run those railroads.
So basically we don't have a government-run passenger rail system, but a government-subsidized passenger rail system?
It appears that way, yeah. That seems to be what they're
Interesting.
what they're getting at.
Which, in honesty, would make a lot of sense, because that's very much like
how the
UK, all of Europe, most of Japan.
Yeah.
That's That seems to be how the world is working. Also, MARAD is the United States Maritime Administration.
Okay, thank you. I probably should have guessed that was, for the other mode of travel that wasn't covered.
I still can't guess, though. What does MARAD stand for? It doesn't say.
Maritime.
It says it is the United States Maritime Administration, and I'm like, is the MAR maritime?
Oh, yeah. It has to be. MAR and then
Maritime
AD.
Administration?
Yeah.
Kind of an odd acronym.
So it's a really stretched acronym there, but,
Yeah.
Marad.
Boats and shit.
Yeah. Boats and O's.
Boats and O's. Mumbo, is that you?
Yeah, boats.
That's how SP-WAN commuter operations in San Francisco for a while.
To be fair,
California funded them.
To be fair, a lot of the corridors kind of operate this way already. They operate under the Amtrak
Cascades
name,
corridor,
but
is
they're
state funded.
Yeah, they're funded
By Oregon.
locally, or they're funded by groups of states or something like that.
Like the Downeaster.
Yeah, the Downeaster is a great example, and the Empire Services as well. It's just it's again, Amtrak exists in sort of this weird middle ground where they're doing a lot of things that a private company would do or a public company would do, and they're doing some things that one wouldn't do, or one,
which is
or
a
they
fair
don't
point
do some
which
things,
is a fair, yeah, it is a fair assessment. There isn't anything quite like Amtrak.
Yeah,
it is a bizarre state.
Yeah. But I don't know, what that would be like. I don't know if there are, groups or whatever that are willing to do that, because running that kind of passenger rail, unless you're running it in some place like the Northeast, except where there's a place where there's an established corridor. If you look at the long distance services, I have my doubts that any company would be willing to attempt that, even under a government contract, because look what you're up against. Look what you're fighting almost, I guess, because Amtrak has its issues, and the only reason it continues to survive is because it has the clout of the federal government at its back. And if you had something where it's like, someone else is train derailed in front of us and we're stuck here for 12 hours, I'm not sure it would go as well for anybody else. At least in the situation.
Yeah.
At least in the situation where, in the other situations you mentioned, at least they have control of the tracks that they're running on. Amtrak exists in the weird state it is because the U.S. rail system exists in a similarly weird state.
You say that. Hang on.
Oh, it's only gotten weirder over the years since mergers have happened.
I mean, arguably it's gotten less weird.
Okay.
Because there are fewer railroads to deal with.
I don't know.
I may be thinking of the wrong thing, but I believe in the UK, DB Cargo owns a lot of the trackage that passenger stuff goes over.
What does?
DB Cargo.
BB?
Deutsche Bahn.
Oh. Oh, okay. You said in the UK they own it?
Yeah. Well, they own it all over Europe and in the UK.
Well.
I think it's not exclusive. Well, yeah, there are a lot of examples where the passenger lines own their own trackage. I think there are also examples worldwide of another freight railroad, usually a private company, owns the track, and a nationalized or a nationally subsidized passenger service runs over it.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I would have to look into that. I feel like you don't ever hear about, a train was stopped by a UK passenger train has been stuck behind a freight train or something like that.
What?
You don't, but that's the interesting thing. It's like, okay, you don't ever hear about that, but I do think that a freight line owns a lot of the trackage, so what then is the distinction?
Yeah. Well, what are they doing
different?
Freight rail happens in the UK. I wasn't under the impression that there was all that much.
Not as much as we have, certainly, but I'm not sure how much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Amtrak is in a unique position, and this would also be unique in a way. It'd be different than anything else. It may have a lot of parallels with other things. But, the job of the new agency, called the Federal Passenger Rail Administration, is to identify routes needing passenger train service, develop a budget to fund the required infrastructure, and establish rules under which private sector entrepreneurs can run trains over them. So,
Could we call it the Federal Administration of Rail Passenger Amenities? FARPA?
FARPA.
FARPA. Just because it has a nice... Hey, the maritime people get a stupid acronym that's used to say. Can we have one? FARPA.
Sure.
I like FARPA.
Alright, so we're going to establish FARPA.
Apparently FARPA is actually a word.
When one of us becomes president.
Alright.
Apparently FARPA is a Spanish word for barb.
Awesome, excellent. Anyway.
It's Portuguese.
Well, it's a good thing we're not Portugal.
Yeah.
How about FARP?
FARP.
The Federal Association of Rail Passengers.
So,
Nope, that's the Revolutionary Armed Forces of the People.
how about... No, I like FARP, because then when you take the train, you're FARPing.
You're FARPing.
Alright, we're 5 years old. Let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
On to some more serious news. TriMet has got plans for their new southwest corridor, which would run between Portland State University and Bridgeport Village in Tigard, I believe. This project extends the got up every.
And I think we're building it.
Yeah, they're building stuff. This project extends the frequent high-capacity transit into a corridor that needs it today and will need it even more in the future, said TriMet General Manager Doug Casey. Project partners and community members have worked long and hard to reach this moment. This is a demonstration that together we can work to sustainably improve mobility throughout the Southwest Corridor. If approved by Metro, the proposed route, officially known as the locally proposed alternative, great name by the way, would run 12 miles between the south end of the Portland State University, through Tigard, and the Bridgeport Village. Where it would include 13% potential stations and as many as 7 parking rides with up to 3,500 parking spaces, which are pretty much their parking garages. Allows for 2 miles of shared transitway for future express bus service. The decision will help determine the final cost of the project, which is most recently estimated at $2.64 billion to $2.86 billion in 2024 dollars. The estimated midpoint of its construction. Project partners include ODOT, Metro Washington County, the cities of Tigard, Portland, and Terwilliger, which I guess just ended the line, and others. Determined that the proposed route based on the trapped environmental impact statement and community feedback. So yeah, new track. The track.
Yay, TriMet.
Just good. Now, if only they could.
If only they could what?
There's also another article about
A guy getting angry.
13 Oregon lawmakers urge state not to repeal TriMet funding. I need to reload the page because it popped up or something.
Well, I'm out of news. What is that? Who's
Fair
whooshing?
ruling.
That's probably
Fix it
my
out,
computer.
Yes, TJ, I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
pretty
DGs.
much TriMet has a ruling it would pretty much
What is this?
it'd pretty much be like an honor system for fares. Like they weren't just supposed to go check to see if you got the fare or if you had a fare or not. Because They need this practice subverts the disparities in the criminal justice system and contributes to the overpolicing and overprosecution of people and homeless.
Oh wait, is this sort of like the other thing where the British company was only checking the fares of black people?
Yeah, I think it has a similar premise to that.
Okay, well, people can read that article, I guess. I glanced at it, I wasn't really sure what was going on. I just know that somebody got so angry about this.
Yeah, it seems to be going in a few different directions that are just pointed at TriMet to say, don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Which knowing TriMet, they probably will continue to do it.
Well, this person, somebody might have heard about that, and they were very upset.
Yeah.
And,
it's 2000.
What?
Yeah, I guess that's that. It's just a huge rant about TriMet being in the WOM there, supposed to be. Although I don't think they're in the WOM because they're just checking for fares. Any reasonable transit company would do that.
Well, this guy got his fare checked a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go, but my determination is thanks American Automotive.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good one, bye.
See.
Speaking of things going, the Ballard Railroad
God damn
up
it,
in
Bill.
Seattle got a new caboose. Yeah. And it's going to be there.
Who did?
Well, actually, it got delivered when this article was written on the 25th of September. That's cool. It's an SP&S caboose. So, could be neat. That they're getting new stuff. And our fundraiser to get our new stuff, the brushless cars, is still up, and it's at 53% right now. Going to fund it. After this, we will do another fundraiser for the 1067 Parts Project, which is already halfway funded, and we don't even have a fundraiser yet, so that's going good. And Big Concrete has
It's what I've been waiting for. It's actually not what I've been waiting for
The return of
because
Big Concrete.
I tried to segue you to the thing about 5 times and you still haven't done it.
Huh.
Big oof.
Oh, it was Big Concrete came and invaded the movie.
He was too busy with his legendary
It's-
segue, Ellis.
Yeah. But anyways, it got poured on the 21st of last month, and we already got whale on it, we already got script stand, and pretty soon, like in a few weeks, we're going to bolt down that track and move cars onto it.
Yay!
Yeah. Hey, more room.
More track.
And then that's going to free up the yard almost completely, to the point where we just need to move our 2 locomotives around. Which isn't that hard. Except for when the yard isn't the best. But we'll probably fix it at some point in the foreseeable future after the next barn is built. Anyway, speaking of things being built, the Salem Amtrak station celebrated its 100th anniversary.
Not originally an Amtrak station. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, it's on Pacific Depot. But it's had a lot of cosmetic work done to it over the years, and it's very well kept. Just like the Albany station. It went, yeah, had a nice 100 centennial celebration, I guess, would be the way to put it. In 2000, it had a nearly $1 million overhaul. And that was around the time where all the old SP stations got overhauls. But presidents have been by it. Woodrow Wilson, Harding, Roosevelt, Hoover, and Eisenhower all visited by train. There. Fun fact about Herbert Hoover, he was He was the streetcar motorman up in Salem, actually.
When he was young?
Yeah, when he was younger in the 19-teens. That was an awesome fact to learn. Anyways, just a nice celebration of history. Compared to Sound Transit that's spending $56,000 to remove an abandoned trolley platform.
How do you spend that much for removing? Wait. What?
What?
Yeah, wait.
Sound Transit
Explain.
to spend $56,000 on abandoned trolley platform just to decide its demolish.
Okay.
Or its demolition. This was a part of their riverfront trolley service that they had, which I believe swam with, what's the name of the city in Australia? W2 class Melbourne cars. That's it. They operate 4 of them on this track, and they abandoned the service for an art exhibit in 2008 for some reason.
What?
But kept the cars around because the car barn was ugly and it was taking up space.
Okay.
Yeah, Seattle. Yeah.
Seattle.
Two of the cars are still around in near Seattle at Railway Restoration Reservation or something like that. I got their business card, and I know the people that own it, so they're reserved there for now until they can come up with an idea. Like their current idea is run them on the modern network, but they would need to be heavily modified to do that. And I'm not entirely sure how they're going to pull it off. You know what else I'm not entirely sure they're going to pull off? The North Coast Trail up in Northern California. Mm-hmm. Because the area that they want to put it in is the Beale River Canyon. It's pretty much a 20-mile long river canyon that's similar to the Salmonberry Canyon on the Tillamook line. And how they're similar is they both wash out frequently.
Sure
SP abandoned that line for a reason. They didn't want to pay to rebuild it constantly, about every 20 years or so. Give or take.
That's a length of time.
Yeah. Anyways, the trail would have fun doing that. So, anyways, there was a bill that was signed that would offer a trail on that section of the track.
Well,
which
among other
fun.
things.
Among
It was
other
a
things,
pretty
I think
hefty bill.
Yeah, it gave Smart some money, which it's in the way that stories for this, and I don't know how I wound up skipping over it, because I care much more about Smart than I do a trail bill. Actually, okay, now I found out why, because it's an article from September 1st, but you know what, it kind of piggybacks off of this article, so here. It's just a part of what was in the bill that was passed. It's related to the bill. It wasn't just a trail bill, it was a overall.
Well, also, I don't think there was any money in the bill for the trail. It was just yeah, you guys can do this.
Yeah,
have a blast. So, we can have fun.
Although they are running trains from Eureka, well, not trains, high railers from Eureka a little bit to the south.
Yeah.
Which they're hoping to build a tourist railroad on eventually. It would be nice someday. And no one wants to touch the canyon because the canyon is just bad.
Canyon's
apparently.
the cool part.
Anyways, good stuff happening there. Compared to the Oregon man that punched the streetcar.
This is what I was trying to segue you to. This is TriMet, and it's also a guy that didn't pay his fare repeatedly, and then he got angry and punched the streetcar. So it was so well attached
know
to
what,
everything you were talking about.
Okay, I forgot. My bad. I'll take the brain.
Effing TriMet, he said, and then he punched the train. And he cracked.
It's okay, I'd say the same thing too.
I mean, yeah.
I know people that work for TriMet. I would do the same if I worked for TriMet.
The year leading up to the windshield punch, he'd been cited 3 times for riding without paying his fare. And each time he was fined $175
So maybe
and didn't pay the fine
are a
either.
good thing.
Oh my god. He's crazy.
It was actually the
Yes.
William streetcar that he damaged, which is contracted by TriMet, but I think it's separate.
Also, either they need new windshields on their trams and buses, or this dude needs to be put on the Geneva Convention. Like,
He's
Jesus
really-
Christ,
he's
hit
cracked
that
the
thing
windshield.
hard.
I wish there was a video of this.
Yeah, I would have wanted to see it. That would have been great, but apparently
Probably
they...
goes, one pop!
No. Witness account say he went effing TriMet. Or expletive TriMet.
Yeah.
The translation, you know?
Yeah, right. It's not uncommon for members of the public to break windows on the TriMet system out of anger. A TriMet spokeswoman said.
Yeah.
TriMet, what are
That's
you
great.
doing? That you have that many people willing to punch the
Oregon
train. Didn't somebody who
What?
punched a train last episode?
Yeah.
Nobody else was here last episode except for TJ and I.
I don't remember that at
You
all.
don't remember that? Somebody punched a train.
No.
DBA was like, I don't care about the dude. How was the train?
Yeah.
Where was that? I remember that now.
In California somewhere, I think. I don't know. Somewhere.
Well, speaking of somewhere in California,
Speaking of somewhere that...
designer is the new Charger locomotives.
Yay.
So the future.
The
And
future.
they're in the 319 tank scheme.
We're the
Speaking
future. It's
of,
the future, Wyvolt.
What's that?
Speaking,
They're the future.
There's the future of what?
No. They are the future.
Who's the
The
future?
Chargers. They're the future.
Oh, jeez.
They are.
Sorry, I'm kind of zoned out. Yeah, I mean,
They're the
yeah,
future.
they're good engines from what I've heard.
Yeah.
We were discussing
for the
this
prototype
slightly
that
before
we
the
had.
podcast of the Chargers are engines that they look better the further away from them you are, the better they look.
To be fair, I didn't realize
I don't
that
mind.
the Brightline engines were Chargers, and I thought those looked pretty good, and I think the Chargers look a solid okay.
Yeah,
I think from the side
The
they look
Brightline-
a lot better than they do
I think
from
it
the
might
front.
be the paint scheme that matters.
yeah. Brightline, the shape actually looks okay. I'm with Milky. The paint scheme's kind of lousy, and then yeah, from the side they're pretty good looking. The front they just look ugly.
Well, I mean that should be indicative of something. Don't stand in front of the train,
Yeah. Florida.
Florida man.
Florida man.
TJ was trying to say something.
I mean, it's probably too far gone now.
Oh, rip in peace. All right.
Speaking
Also,
of too
Dean
far
never got
gone-
to his news. He literally never said anything about the news that he has.
All right, well, since I wanted to take K&L Westy anyway, the newest release for K&L trains is an engine that we all know and love.
That's the
475 Strasbourg Railroad / Norfolk and Western, along with the modern variants of the Strasbourg coaches and the excursion consists. So if you want that, go pick it up.
I already did.
And the photo freight train.
I literally already did. Because I love K&L, and I'm going to buy their next thing as soon as it comes out. Did they call break?
Yep, which is Super Sally.
Yes.
And it's freight.
So excited.
They got some photos on their Facebook page of it, and it's coming together nicely. How can I seg off of
I don't know, how can you? I don't know. So, Vesti.
Vesty.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that should be good.
Yeah, you did good. You're
But speaking of not knowing where we are, because we all seem pretty confused right now.
Yeah.
So why don't we find
I'm
something else
tired.
that we don't know where it is on the latest train on Amtrak? Where is it?
I mean,
We
that's the
don't-
last thing we do after all the news.
What other news do we have?
Okay, you know what? I'll shotgun through the rest of the news.
Got like 30
Milky-
It'd be
just
great if you could.
Milky
because
picked up
you
like
don't know
30
it's
links
worth of news.
A new path
all the
for
news.
rail transit. They're just hoping that we should do rail as an idea.
Okay, see, I originally I saw this article and I thought, where the hell are you going to build a train to in Idaho?
Boise,
Yeah,
Potatoes.
but that's it.
Pocatello,
But that was my thing. It was like,
Fort
okay,
Duquesne.
I realized that they want to build like a downtown, interurban and stuff like that, and trolleys and whatever. That's not what I expected. I thought they were talking about like commuter rail, and I was like, to where? Because Idaho.
Shotgun.
They got 17 different stops in mind.
Congratulations.
And, yeah. So hopefully Idaho embraces this idea. This is a guest opinion. It's not anything too serious. Besides this interurban proposal that's in the created. I think it's just a map of what we're reading about here. Which, it's not a bad idea. What else isn't a bad idea is the pace of building Sacramento Valley Railroad is trying to buy diesels from the Heber Valley. Which, I mean, they aren't that bad. They're Baldwin
They're
RS.
just going to buy the one of them, aren't they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who buys things from the Heber Valley?
Yeah, that's probably
Also,
not
why
a
is the
good
Heber
idea.
Valley selling things?
I don't know, but
Money.
I think
That's
that's
alarming.
Maybe they're trying to fund the steam locomotive restoration.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they need money.
Okay.
But don't we all? Speaking of finishing
Ain't we
things,
all?
Golden Spikes.
What?
Said, speaking of finishing things, Golden Spikes? Question mark.
Yeah, Golden Spikes. UP has a snippet about it, actually, on their website. How the Transcontinental is the eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You know what are little wonders of the world? Kids. And kids like trains. Milky.
Yeah,
Props to
there's
TJ to
a
try to.
19-year-old with Down syndrome that goes down to the Albany rail yard and watches 1501 go back and forth, which is pretty cool. A few of us in the P&W Facebook group, we're going to head down there and watch trains on Monday with him, but no one showed up, Al.
Rip.
Oh,
Oh.
damn! Did the kid?
No.
Oh, okay, that makes it a little better.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you showed up.
So no one showed up except for you.
Well, it doesn't.
Well, you know what?
Thanks not showing up.
There we go.
The line into Kalispell, Montana, the downtown area, anyways, is I think being abandoned because they're moving operations a little bit north of town, as opposed to just strictly downtown, because there isn't much business in the town anymore.
Yeah.
And you might recognize Kalispell from the MSTS Mariah's Pass.
I was about to say,
route.
remember that town that we'd always go through in Mariah's Pass and the MSTS and go, wait,
Yeah.
where did the rest of the pass go?
Wait, did you
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
Because you made a
Anna?
wrong turn.
You know what else made a wrong turn? This coal train on Montana Whaling.
We already talked about
It's
that.
the whale.
But we already talked about that.
Well, you know
But
what?
we already talked about
We
that.
already
But we
talked
already
about
talked
that.
about that.
Well, speaking of things we didn't talk about, latest train on Amtrak.
Yeah.
How
All
about
right.
that?
Well, has everyone got done with their news?
We're done.
Nobody else had nothing to say. Also,
No.
hey, wait a minute. This is mine. This is my. This is. Hey. No, put that back. Just because we didn't talk about it now doesn't mean we don't get to talk about it ever. First of all, I think that first article is cool, and the second one is mine. I didn't realize you
It's
took
not
it.
open. It was an unclean news.
It's under my jurisdictions.
Why is it even
Therefore, I get priority.
Why did you take it?
I didn't take it because it was gone by the time I went to go get it, and I forgot about it.
The lifespan on my mic doesn't have long to live. We need to keep going.
TJ's mic is just slowly getting worse.
Yeah.
Why does your mic suck?
Because it was free.
Because it was free.
Great.
And things suck, but you know what does also suck? The latest train on Amtrak. That sucks too.
Okay, I got a guess.
Yep.
Empire Builder Eastbound.
Okay. Eastbound Empire Builder.
Okay, I got a guess.
Yep.
Westbound Southwest Chief.
Westbound Chief. Okay.
Okay, my guess would be the Sunset Limited going east.
Eastbound Sunset. Okay. Well, the Eastbound Empire Builder to Chicago is currently an hour and 12 minutes late at Glasgow, Montana.
Cool.
The westbound Southwest Chief is currently on time at Albuquerque.
Oh, my trains are always on time every time I guess. Man, maybe I should just
Which
guess all of them.
Sunset Limited was it?
Eastbound.
Eastbound Sunset Limited to New Orleans is 39 minutes late at Lafayette, Louisiana.
Damn it.
It's almost there.
Woo!
Also, other notable things. The other Sunset Limited is on time. The other Empire Builder is on time. All California Zephyrs are on time. And the other Southwest Chief is on time.
What about the Lakeshore?
The Lakeshore Limited is also on time, I think.
Hey, let's keep that going for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Railroading.
Lakeshore Limited is on
Okay.
time. And the latest train on Amtrak is the northbound Coast Starlight number 14.
Damn it!
3.5 hours late at Eugene.
I thought about that.
Oof. Oof.
And there's a 2-hour late San Joaquin, which is impressive because they don't have that far to go. There's also the Heartland Flyer is currently experiencing a service disruption.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
what happened if you would guess that? Does that even count for anything?
I mean, no, you just get it right. You have bragging rights.
Oh. That's true, I guess.
Oh wait, no. If you guess the Heartland Flyer,
Yeah.
oh no, it'd just be no. They have a service disruption. It's not the latest train. Anyway, time to terminate.
Yeah. Terminus.
Milky, you're first.
Okay. Just to clarify, I didn't change the locomotives. I was
We
referring
know.
to the steamlocomotives.com photo of the Paris.
Doesn't matter. You still got that point, so you win to go first. Get over it, Milky. Cheater. And Dean says, thanks, American Automotive, and immediately posted a thing.
This. Also, Skookum is still a dumb name.
Oh, I know what he posted. Okay. Wild says that. Oh crap, what did I do? Didn't want to do that. That. And then myself. I love Skookum. It's a great name. TJ. TJ, what is this?
And also this.
Huh?
Okay.
And I don't know. It's just cool. I'm hyped.
Okay. Okay. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Terminus Podcast. I think we had a great time towards the beginning and a little bit of... And we slowed down towards the end. But, you know, letting you down gently. We'll see you...
There was a lot of news.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.